You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Welcome to the Linda Hamill Insurance Coaches Corner. Now let's join Monty Walker with Howe Bulldogs head coach Lance Bryan.
All right, Coach, you got the job in January. The basketball team immediately started a winning streak and went to the playoffs. Baseball team, they did well, went to the playoffs. It's almost like as soon as you got hired, everything snapped.
You know, coaches take probably too much credit and too much blame. And so if you're going to give some credit of that to me, I'll take it. But, you know, the kids that were here, they're really good kids and they're winners. And as soon as I got here, basketball went on a 9-game winning streak. And, you know, the kids fought hard. They knew how to win. That was very obvious. They knew what it took to win. And then, you know, baseball, same thing. There's plenty of talent on the baseball team to get into the playoffs. And you know, there's good coaches in place in both of those spots, and Coach Nitzen and Coach Forsyth, and they had a plan, and the kids bought in, and they saw the results.
You were most recently the DC defensive coordinator at Sanger. The defense here in Howe has kind of been the Achilles heel for the past several years. How do you right the ship?
You know, I brought in a defensive coordinator, Andrew Harvey. He was a linebacker coach with me in Sanger, and so we've worked together for the last 3 years, and so we know a lot of the same things that each other's thinking. And so I feel really confident putting the defense in his hands, and brought in a new defensive line coach, Justin Graham. He was a guy that I coached against for several years, and he's a really good coach and a lot of energy on that side of the ball. And then Coach Moss played defensive back here, you know, a few years ago, back when Howe was winning a few more games, and you know, so he's brought that same attitude with the defensive backs, and obviously I kind of help coach, you know, all three levels. But one of the biggest things is just fundamentals. We teach the D-line fundamentals, linebacker, DBs every day. And so there's a lot of things that happen in a game all the time, and so we stress those fundamentals. And you know, we're going all in on the defense that we run. We're not going to change a whole lot from week to week. We're going to get better at what we do, and you know, that's our plan.
What attracted you to this job initially?
Well, I coached against these guys the last couple of years. I think I've made that pretty well known. And, you know, but the community support whenever I came to games, whenever we were homecoming here a couple of years ago, just a huge crowd, you know, tons of support, and they were supporting the team even though the results might not have been what they wanted. And then, you know, the players on the field, I thought there was a lot of talent out there. There's some big kids, there's some kids that can go get the ball, and you know, they played with a lot of heart even whenever things weren't going well, and you know, I think coaches always think they can fix everything. I've said that before too, but you know, I just saw a team that had a lot of the ingredients that are necessary for a winning program.
Now, when you got here, you've kind of said the theme is going to be lighted up, and you've said that over and over, and talk about that, and what's that about?
You know, I think sometimes you make a lot of goals as coaches, and I think you stress too many things, and you know, you kind of, you know, scattered out, and you know, we're going to try to do this and that and the other. But ultimately, the only thing that we're trying to do is win. And when we win here, we light up a victory light. And so as soon as I found out about the victory light and what it meant to the town, it just made sense that should be the only goal that we have, is to light it up. Because if we light it up, then all of any other goals that we have, whether it's, you know, playoffs or further than that, it doesn't matter. If we don't light it up, none of those other goals matter. So if we do that, that'll get us where we want to go.
We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Hi, this is Matt Linder with Linda Hamill Insurance. Your home field is where everything happens. And I'm not talking about Bulldog Stadium. We're talking about your home, your car, and your life. For over 30 years, we've been offering bundled discounts on home, auto, and life. We offer Germania and Progressive insurance protection, as well as many others to suit your needs. Call us today at 903-965-4098 or come by and see us at 106 North Broadway in Bells, Texas. That's 903-965-4098.
All right, Coach, 0-22, but this team's record's 0-0, and your head coaching record is 0-0. So I'm sure you've stressed to the team, hey, what's happened in the past is over. You know, a new ship is here.
You know, every year it's a new team, because, you know, there's kids that graduate, there's guys coming up from the JV that fill in a bunch of spots and key roles. And so every team, even though there's, you know, some of the same guys in the same positions, it's always a new version of the team every year. And, you know, some of these kids have been on varsity since they were freshmen or sophomores, and they're going into their junior and senior seasons now, and most of the teammates they've played with have moved on. And so, you know, we changed districts. There's a whole bunch of new opponents, and so it's really feels like a clean slate for everybody. And then, you know, new head coach for them, you know, going into this year. So there's new offensive philosophies, defensive philosophies, and just culture overall. And I told them, I'm 0-0, and I think that's obvious. I don't have a win or a loss yet, and this team doesn't either. And so we're not worried necessarily about the past. I mean, we're all recognize that there's a losing streak, and we know that. But that's not our focus. Our focus is just to go win, and again, if we light it up, then everything takes care of itself, and get that monkey off our back.
What do you think the fans should expect to see from the Howe Bulldogs in 2022?
One of the big things that I've stressed, and my college coach said this all the time. He said, "Play hard no matter what." And so if you're up 14, play hard, because you got to try to beat them down. And if you're down 14, keep fighting like crazy, because you're trying to get back in the game. And that's one thing that I think our kids have done really well in the scrimmages. That there's good and bad things that happen in every game. You're never going to have the momentum from beginning to end. It's gonna be a little bit of a roller coaster. And so we've got to fight through the dips in games and keep playing hard and fight through, and trust in what we're doing on offense and defense, and just keep fighting to the very end.
Honey Grove, a new coach, Shane Fletcher. He was at Leonard for a very long time. What do you expect to see from them?
They've got a lot of speed. They have several kids that can really go. They had a lot of guys break some big runs, big passes on their offense, and they put those guys around them on defense too. They kind of try to keep everything in front, and they've got some pretty talented guys on the front line. They got a couple defensive ends that can really cause some problems and wreak some havoc. And Fletcher's got a lot of wins under his belt, so I know they're going to be well coached, and those kids are going to be ready to play.
First game as a head coach, nervous?
Of course. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't, and nobody believed me if I said I wasn't. And so, but it's like a 98% nervous or excited or flip it. I'm more excited than anything. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. Everybody's got a lot riding on this. Community believed in me. I believe in the community, and I got to go deliver. And so, that's the bottom line. And so that's why they brought me in here. And so that's what I plan to do.
Today's Coach's Corner has been brought to you by Linda Hamill Insurance. You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.